Is everyone ready for Halloween? I don't mean the candy, the costumes, or the parties. I'm talking about the raw, primal fear that chills you to the bone. Because tonight we're diving deep into the dark heart of Halloween with three true stories that are as disturbing as they are unexplainable. These are the kinds of stories that stay with you long after the jack-o'-lanterns have rotted and the fake cobwebs have been put away. So turn off the lights, grab a blanket, and prepare to be thoroughly spooked. Because once you enter this world, you may never escape. Our first story takes us to the quiet town of Haddonfield, a seemingly idyllic place with a dark secret lurking beneath the surface, a place where the past never truly stays buried. Nestled among the manicured lawns and white picket fences sits a house with a sinister reputation, 1122 Elm Street, a place that has seen more than its fair share of sorrow. Locals whisper tales of the family that once resided there, a family torn apart by tragedy and shrouded in mystery, their lives forever etched into the fabric of the house. Some say their souls never truly left. Let's see if that's true, as we delve deeper into the chilling history of this haunted abode. Years later, a young couple, oblivious to the home's dark history, purchased 1122 Elm Street, eager to start a new chapter in their lives, unaware of the darkness that awaited them. The Johnson family, John, Mary, and their two young children, saw only potential in the faded grandeur of the old house, dreaming of a bright future. They were filled with hope, unaware of the sinister forces that lurked just beyond the veil of normalcy, waiting to reveal themselves. But they were about to find out in ways they could never have imagined. At first it was just a feeling, a prickling at the back of their necks, an unsettling coldness that seemed to permeate certain rooms, making them shiver involuntarily. Then came the sounds, floorboards creaking under unseen footsteps, disembodied whispers carried on the night air, and the faint scent of lavender perfume lingering in the hallway as if someone unseen was walking beside them. The children, especially sensitive to the unseen world, began to have nightmares. Their small faces contorted in terror as they spoke of shadowy figures watching them from the corners of their rooms, figures that seemed all too real. The Johnsons tried to rationalize these occurrences, but deep down a seed of doubt had been planted, growing with each passing day. Driven by a growing sense of unease, John decided to explore the attic, a space untouched since they moved in, hoping to find some answers. As he pushed open the heavy wooden door, a musty odor filled his nostrils, and he was met with a scene frozen in time, a snapshot of the past. Dust-covered toys lay scattered across the floor, a child's rocking horse stood silently in the corner, and at the far end of the attic, he found a trunk, its brass lock tarnished with age, hinting at secrets long forgotten. With trembling hands, John lifted the heavy lid, revealing a collection of yellowed photographs and handwritten journals, relics of a bygone era. As he carefully leafed through the brittle pages, a chill ran down his spine, the words on the pages echoing the horrors they were now experiencing. The journals spoke of a family driven to madness, haunted by unseen forces, their words a chilling echo of the horrors the Johnsons were now experiencing, a mirror to their own fears. It was at that moment John realized they were not alone in the house on Elm Street, and the true horror of their situation began to dawn on him. Our next story takes us to the outskirts of a forgotten town, where the remnants of Cranbrook Mental Asylum stand as a chilling reminder of a troubled past, a place where history and horror intertwine. This sprawling complex, once home to hundreds of patients battling mental illness, now stands abandoned, its crumbling walls echoing with the whispers of tortured souls and the memories of countless untold stories. Locals tell tales of strange lights emanating from the building at night, disembodied screams carried on the wind, and shadowy figures lurking in the windows as if the past refuses to be forgotten. It is said that the asylum's dark history continues to haunt its decaying corridors, a place where time seems to stand still and the air is thick with sorrow. One crisp autumn evening, a group of teenagers, fueled by teenage bravado and a thirst for the unknown, dared to venture onto the forbidden grounds of Cranbrook, seeking thrills and chills. Among them was Sarah, a skeptical yet curious girl drawn to the allure of the unknown and the mysteries that lay hidden within the asylum's walls. Little did they know their innocent dare would lead them down a terrifying path, testing the limits of their sanity and unraveling the asylum's sinister secrets, secrets that were meant to stay buried. As they cautiously made their way through the overgrown grounds, a palpable sense of dread washed over them, as if the very earth beneath their feet was warning them to turn back. The air grew heavy, as if an unseen presence was observing their every move, watching and waiting. The sound of their own footsteps on the gravel path seemed amplified, echoing through the eerie silence, each step a reminder of their growing fear. It was as if the asylum itself was watching them, its decaying walls holding its breath, waiting for the opportune moment to unleash its horrors and reveal its dark past. As they approached the main entrance, Sarah noticed a flicker of movement in one of the top-floor windows, a fleeting shadow that sent chills down her spine. A chill ran down her spine as she squinted through the darkness, trying to make out the shape, her heart pounding in her chest. There, for a fleeting moment, she saw the silhouette of a woman, her long, dark hair cascading down her back, her eyes hollow and devoid of life, a ghostly figure from the past. The image vanished as quickly as it appeared, but the memory of it seared itself into Sarah's mind, a haunting vision she would never forget. Suddenly, a blood-curdling scream pierced the silence, echoing through the empty corridors of the asylum, a sound that froze them in their tracks. The teenagers froze, their hearts pounding in their chests, their blood turning ice-cold, fear gripping them like a vice. It was a scream filled with unimaginable pain and terror, a sound that spoke of unspeakable horrors and shattered sanity, a cry from the depths of despair. The scream seemed to reverberate through the very foundation of the asylum, shaking them to their core, a chilling reminder of the darkness that still lingered within its walls. Picture this. It's Halloween night, the air is crisp, leaves are falling, and a chill runs down your spine. But this isn't the fun kind of chill. No, this is the kind that settles deep in your bones. The kind that tells you something is deeply, terribly wrong. In a small town nestled amidst rolling hills and whispering cornfields, a group of teenagers were eagerly anticipating a night of Halloween revelry. They had their costumes planned, pillowcases ready for candy, and an itinerary that promised a night of spooky fun. Little did they know their night of innocent fun was about to take a sinister turn. As the sun began to set, casting long, eerie shadows across the town, the group of friends gathered at their usual meeting spot, a flickering streetlight at the edge of town. Excitement hung in the air, thick as the fake cobwebs strung across lampposts as they set off, their laughter echoing in the twilight. But their laughter would soon be replaced by screams, screams that would pierce the night and linger long after the last jack-o'-lantern had been extinguished. Because on this night, under the pale glow of the harvest moon, something sinister lurked in the shadows, something that watched their every move, its eyes gleaming with an unholy light, something that would turn this Halloween night into a real-life horror story. As the group of friends made their way through the neighborhood, laughing and joking between themselves, they couldn't shake the feeling that they were being watched. Every rustle of leaves, every creak of a porch swing sent shivers down their spines. One of the girls, Sarah, mentioned that she felt uneasy, like someone was watching them from the darkness beyond the circle of light cast by the street lamps. Her friends dismissed her concerns, attributing them to an overactive imagination fueled by the spooky atmosphere of the night. But deep down, a seed of doubt had been planted. As they continued on their candy-collecting quest, they couldn't help but notice a figure lurking in the distance, always obscured by shadows, always keeping pace with them, but never quite close enough to make out. At first, they tried to convince themselves it was just their imagination playing tricks on them. But as the night wore on, and the figure continued to follow them, their unease grew into full-blown terror. The figure seemed to glide effortlessly through the darkness, appearing and disappearing at will, always keeping a safe distance, but never letting them out of its sight. It was like something out of a nightmare, a silent, menacing presence that haunted their every step. The air grew heavy with dread, the laughter died down, and the once jovial group of friends found themselves walking faster, their eyes darting nervously around, their hearts pounding in their chests. As the friends neared the end of their usual trick-or-treating route, they decided to take a shortcut through the abandoned park on the outskirts of town. The park had been closed for years, its rusted swing sets and overgrown jungle gym standing as eerie reminders of happier times. Legend had it that the park was haunted, a place where restless spirits roamed free on Halloween night. Despite their growing fear, the friends decided to risk it, hoping to make it home before whatever was following them could catch up. But as they entered the park, the temperature dropped. A cold wind whipped through the trees and an unnatural silence descended upon them. It was as if the park itself was holding its breath, watching their every move. Suddenly, the figure that had been stalking them all night emerged from the shadows of the trees. It was tall and slender, dressed in a long, flowing black cloak that concealed its face. In its gloved hand, it clutched what appeared to be a scythe, the moonlight glinting off its sharp metallic edge. Terror lent speed to their feet. They ran, hearts pounding, breath catching in their throats, the figure's cold laughter echoing behind them. The once familiar park transformed into a labyrinth of shadows and fear, each twist and turn leading them deeper into its clutches. The figure was relentless, its footsteps silent but swift, always closing the distance, always one step behind. As they ran, Sarah, the girl who had first sensed their stalker, tripped and fell, twisting her ankle. Her friends stopped, their instinct to protect her overriding their fear. They had to get out of there, and fast. But the figure was getting closer, its presence growing stronger with every passing second. They could hear its ragged breathing, smell the stench of decay that clung to it like a shroud. Just when they thought all hope was lost, a police car, its siren wailing, rounded the corner and screeched to a halt at the park's entrance. The figure in the shadows hesitated, its attention momentarily diverted by the approaching lights. It was their chance. Scooping Sarah up, they made a break for the safety of the police car. The officer, a young man with kind eyes and a reassuring demeanor, helped them into the back of his car. As they sped away, they could see the figure standing at the edge of the park, its form illuminated by the flashing lights of the police car, its face still hidden in the shadows. It raised its scythe in a menacing gesture, as if promising that this wasn't over, as if their escape was only temporary. They never went back to the park, and they never spoke of that night again. But the memory of the Halloween night stalker, the figure in the shadows, continued to haunt their dreams, a chilling reminder that some things are best left undisturbed, especially on Halloween night. The police searched the park, but they found no trace of the figure in the black cloak. Some dismissed the teenager's story as a prank gone wrong, fueled by teenage imagination and too much Halloween candy. Others, however, whispered about the legend of the Halloween night stalker, a malevolent spirit that roamed the town on Halloween night, preying on the unsuspecting. The teenagers, forever marked by the events of that night, knew the truth. They had looked into the eyes of evil, and they knew that some things are best left unexplained, some mysteries are better left unsolved. Halloween would never be the same for them again. The joy and innocence of the holiday had been replaced by a chilling fear, a constant reminder of the night they came face to face with the Halloween night stalker. And so, the legend of the Halloween night stalker lived on, passed down through generations, a chilling reminder that on Halloween night, the veil between our world and the next is at its thinnest, and sometimes the things that go bump in the night are all too real. The question is, do you believe in the Halloween night stalker? Or do you think it's just a scary story, a tale spun to keep children from wandering too far on Halloween night? The truth, as they say, is often stranger than fiction. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed these scary stories, don't forget to leave a comment below with your own spooky experiences. Stay safe and have a hauntingly good Halloween.